Hey, great day, great day. SuperDraft Pro Familia. How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? Hope everybody's having a beautiful morning. I'm looking out at a spring morning with a little bit of snow, but every day is going to be getting warmer as we go forward. And as Kevin B and I were talking right before this started, Tiger Woods made the cut in the Masters. Major League Baseball kicked off down in Atlanta, where they hosted the Cincinnati Reds and represented their World Series championship. And of course, we just had the March Madness for the women and for the men's. And the women's tournament is about as big today as the men's tournament was about 20 years ago. I mean, it's catching up. It's amazing the fire that's having. And what that says to me is that sports is a rapidly growing industry. I mean, we see esports. There's new sports coming out that people had never even thought of. I saw something just recently where they show these offshore racing boats, but they're electric. And they're talking about being able to do them where they have individual people just driving them like you would drive a drone. I mean, you guys have seen the drone racing. I mean, anything that you can create a sport around, it seems like people are doing it. So, and now we got this metaverse coming out where people are going to be playing sports inside the metaverse. I mean, you may not understand it. I don't understand it all, but what it says to me is we've got an industry that is not only growing, an industry that has a lot of growth ahead of it, much of which we may not even be able to understand today, may not even be able to have the vision for today, but just know that it's coming. And anytime you're in business, and that's what we're here to talk about with Kevy B and myself today, is to talk about the business of SuperDraft Pro. So I'm going to switch over to show us some screen share real quick, and we're going to take you guys through some of this here. Put that up there out of the way. And so to start off with, guys, you see the very first slide that's coming up. It says you don't need eyes to see, you need vision. How big is your vision? How big is your vision for the world of sports? And more importantly, for what SuperDraft Pro can be inside of this. I love this picture. I saw a long time ago, guys standing on the top of the mountains, and it's this peak that's up above the clouds and the sun shining down. I can only imagine what that feels like to be right there. And I know when Chris first shared the concept of sports and home-based business, that's kind of the way I felt when he first called me. I mean, instantaneously, it was a yes. I mean, it was like the ultimate yes. I mean, how could somebody who likes sports say no to having a business where your business could be sports? You could spend time with your family and friends and have fun and play games and get paid to build a business around that. Well, I want you to look at what is. This is not just somebody speculating. This is last year's list, revenue in 2020. So the 2021 list from the DSA, the Direct Sales Association. And what you'll see is this is all the companies, well, not all of them, but this is like the top 35 companies up there. I mean, just these alone, the lowest one on this list, High Site Enterprise, whatever theirs was 341 million. A guy in my downline started Prove It. They did 363 million the other year, last year. So you look at these companies on here and look at all these companies. I mean, there's tons of nutritional companies and skincare companies, and there's energy companies, telecom companies, there's real estate. Look at number 9 there, EXP Realty. Look how fast they have exploded doing network marketing and real estate. I mean, look at all the companies over $1 billion, 16 of them over $1 billion. Ambit Energy at 15, 16 Telecom Plus. I mean, who even thinks telecom's still a business? Well, guess what? Everybody thought that Verizon and AT&T and Sprint and some of these companies dominated, but yeah, there it is right there. But do you notice the absence of anything? Well, here's something I want you guys to take a look at. Ever so often, a company comes along and they claim a spot inside of a product category or a service segment. Amway cleaning products, Mary Kay Cosmetics, A.O. Williams Insurance, Herbalife Weight Loss, New Skin Basic Skincare, Excel Telecom, Ambit Energy, Rodan and Fields, high-end skincare, sports. Has anybody claimed that yet? I mean, if you look at all those other products and those lists that I just shared with you, I guarantee you, if you lined up 100 people, 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people, I don't care how many you get, and you had somebody presenting from each of these different product categories, and everybody was an equal presenter, and all these people were pre-qualified and said, hey, COVID's about to end. I need money. Most of the world needs money, not just wants, needs money right now. And if you lined them up and let everybody present and said, for all the people that said, I'm looking for a business, a way to make some extra money, now pick which one of those products or services you feel you'd have the easiest time, certainly the most fun time, sharing with all the people you know. I guarantee you, whoever presented for us standing up, all things being equal to the other presenters, walks out with at least 70% of that room. I mean, let's just face it, guys, sports is huge business and nobody has claimed that spot yet inside of our industry. Well, we've got a position. We've got a position to do it. And I just want to share as we dive into the presentation with Kevy B, and I haven't even talked to Kevy B about this. This is my personal assessment. Guys, I've been in the industry 32 years, 2/3 of it in the field, 1/3 in corporate. I'm actually consulting with a couple of companies right now that are just going, I still do some consulting. And I absolutely didn't. Chris and I, we talked about, we didn't see it being this way. Never would have anticipated being this way. But as we were having a call the other day with Randy and Chris and Scott Reese and Eric and Kevy B and myself, it just came to me that, you know what, we've been in beta. Now, we didn't say that, we didn't plan to do that, but we've been in beta. The model that's getting ready to be rolled out, some of which we get to talk about today, but the model that's getting ready to be rolled out is significantly enhanced from where we started. But that's because things are happening today that we didn't even dream of a year ago. That's how fast it's changing. So we've really been in beta for about since July. We turned it on in July. August, it kind of really got up and running. We haven't even been open for a year and we've been in a beta. I believe that once we turn these things on in the next, whatever it is, 45, 60, 35, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 days, whatever it takes, I believe that ends our beta segment. And then we're going to be in pre-launch. And what is pre-launch? Well, pre-launch is where you take your main base model, you sand off the edges, you get it ready to go to do what? To boom, to launch. And it couldn't have been planned any better, guys. The football season, with literally football season being right at the end of August, college starts, then a week later, pro starts. You talk about an official launch, a time to officially launch SuperDraft Pro. This could not have come at a better time. Now, did we plan it this way? No. Would we have wanted it this way? No. Nobody wants a beta that long. But what you see, and when you see what's coming, I believe that you'll see that it's been worth it. So anyways, that is the main piece right there, guys. Oh, one final thing right here. SuperDraft Pro Global. I want you to be thinking about the world. Yes, we're primarily in the United States right now, but I want you to be thinking about the world, guys, because sports is a global business and we have the ability to scale this and take this around the world unlike anything that you have ever seen, anything that you've ever seen. So let me put this next one on here. And this is the one where Kevy B and I are going to join in together. All righty. So our good buddy Eric put this together for us. The business of SuperDraft Pro. Here's the lesson for the day. The business versus playing to win. This is probably one of the most important pieces on here is the SuperDraft Pro business versus just playing games to win, which, hey, who doesn't want to win, right? But one of the biggest wins, absolutely the biggest win anybody can have inside this model is building a business. SuperDraft Pro, the vision. Who are we and where are we going? We're going to talk about that. The next one is big. And this is something that both Kevy B and I put a lot of time and effort in. He's doing a whole lot right now with super high level, top performing individuals on this. And that's mindset. What do you want out of this? Making committed decisions, getting emotionally involved in that commitment, and then building your team, creating excitement, approaching potential customers, events and private contests. And then of course, we'll just wrap up. What I want to do though, guys, is I know most of you guys know Kevy B, but let me share with you guys a perspective because he doesn't talk about himself. You know, when I first met Kevy B, it was in a game company similar to this. It was called United Games with an app called FireFan. And Kevy B was actually upline from myself. He enrolled my partner, Chris Ferrer, and Chris enrolled me. And that company in 15 months, the real numbers, these are real numbers between customers and affiliates, what we call players and coaches. They put a little over 1.4 million people, a little over 1.4 million people in about 15 months. Now, the company started late. The app didn't work when they turned it on. I mean, from the day that people first started enrolling to the time the app actually worked at what I would think would be an acceptable level was close to 1 year. Kind of interesting similarities to what we see here. But by that time, you know, the company kind of jumped the shark, so to speak, and it just never really, they couldn't quite get it dialed in. They couldn't quite get it dialed in, you know, but Kevy B was responsible for between 70 and 80% of the people that joined that company came down line of him. So he knows this business as well as anybody. He's had success in the sports MLM business as big as anybody you will ever meet. And you guys that know him know his passion, his heart, his commitment is second to none. So Kevy B, let's dive in, bro. Let's talk about the business of SuperDraft Pro, because you understand the business. I understand the business. And I know a lot of people got in and they said, hey, let's go do this and play the games and win and make some money. And that's not a bad thing, but let's kind of talk more back on the business side, brother. Come on here.
Awesome, Scotty B. Listen, I'm just really glad to be here, man. I'm so happy to be here with you this morning. I'm thankful for those who have joined us today. I'm thankful that the recording is going to be made available. Listen, for those of you who are here because you want to create, wealth, and guys, you have to listen to this now. All right, because there are a lot of people that may not see the true potential that we have our hands on here. But those same people that don't see the true potential that we have on our hands on here don't see the true potential that they have within themselves. That's why mindset is so important. And we'll cover that in just a minute. But right now, what we're here to focus on is we're here to focus on the business of SuperDraft Pro. The business of SuperDraft Pro, guys, listen, the business, not the play, not the gameplay, not the winning of money, not the winning of coins, not the getting of gift cards, but the business of SuperDraft Pro. Remember when we first started, one of my big hooks was, would you be interested in learning how you can get paid even if you don't win? All right. I should probably said even when you don't win, but even if, because there's always a chance, right? How would you like to earn even if you don't win? So there are two different types of people that are going to join SuperDraft Pro. There are the people that are going to get in here and they're going to get focused on the friends, family, and fun. They're going to have fun with this, and they're going to be focused on, where did I place on the leaderboard? Dadgummit, my player got hurt, or this guy didn't start, or that guy got yanked after the second inning, and I didn't get any coins, and I'm all upset because this guy happened and that guy didn't happen and this lineup didn't work and that. Listen, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. It is absolutely fun to play in this app. It's fun in the SuperDraft Daily Fantasy, and it's fun in the SuperDraft Free Sportsbook. It's fun. But guys, listen, fun can also pay the bills in a big, big way. You have an opportunity with SuperDraft Pro to create thousands of dollars in residual income every single month, whether you win or lose, whether you even enter your lineups or not. And this is what we're going to focus on today, is the business of SuperDraft Pro. I don't know about you guys, but I love this. This is fun to me. If you take everything else away, all the growing pains, the beta, we're going to try this, we're going to try that, we're going to hone this in, the formula period. If you take all that away and just look at what we have our hands on, this is fun. This is so much fun. You don't have to go out and worry about doing a job that you hate. You don't have to worry about getting in your car and driving 2 hours in traffic and having road ragers cutting you off. You don't have to deal with that. You can build this business from the comfort of your sofa, if you want to, from your recliner, from your back porch, in your lawn chair, drinking a beer, watching football on TV, if that's what you want to do, from the beach somewhere, from Starbucks, walking in the airport with your phone. Guys, you can build this business anywhere, and this is something that is fun. So we want you to focus, like Scotty says, put your business hat on, because we, with SuperDraft Pro, and I say we, but that's all of us, okay? It's not my company, but we all have a business, a full-blown business for $40 a year. $40 a year. Are you kidding me? Because it's $40 a year, I believe that people don't realize the value that we have and don't take it seriously. It's no different, Scotty, when we're working with high-end clients in mindset. People that get a free program never have success with that program. When you invest in yourself, you are spending money, you believe in yourself. When you're investing money in yourself, you do it. You're not just wasting it. When you invest in your business, you are committed. You are committed. And guys, we have everything we need. We have an amazing world-class app, not just one, but two. And all the different things that you can do with the free sports book and with the daily fantasy. And Scotty, I just went and did a free sports book bet on darts. And I turned a 5,000 coin win into like $9,800 in a dart game. And I also entered another contest. I can't even remember what it was, but I didn't even know what it was, Scotty. but it was going on somewhere. And I entered into, and I put, I can't remember, 2,000 or 3,000 coins. And I almost doubled up, because I actually took the favorite, which pays a little bit less, but still, you can do this 24/7, 365 in the free sports book. All right. So this is part of what we get with our business for $40. We get, granted, the back office, and guys, what is in the works right now, I believe is going to make everybody very, very happy. I've gotten a sneak peek at what's coming as far as the front end and the back end goes. And man, they pull this off, and I believe they will. And if it's not right out of the gate, we just have to be patient. We have to understand that there will be some growing. All right. But guys, we have everything we need for $40 a year to start a business. So there's no cost to entry, no barrier to entry here. Even if a person says, Kevin, I just can't afford the subscription, you can get the coach position for $40. If you have to start out, if you are absolutely homeless and out on the street and have no money to your name, you can get the $40 coach's fee, and you can go and recruit customers. And when you recruit customers, that will suffice your requirement for your personal volume. So you don't have to, but I will tell you this, of all of the coaches that I have personally brought into my organization, only the elite category coaches are doing anything with their business. Only the elites. If you're basic or premium, it's not that you can't. It's just that the basics and the premiums are not building a business. I have not one single basic or premium that's building this business. So, and that's going to get into, one of the other slides here, which is, making the committed decision. We'll get there in just a minute. But again, we're here today. We're focusing on the business of SuperDraft Pro. Scotty B and myself, we've been in this industry for a long, long time. We've tried just about everything under the sun. Now we have our strengths, and there are incredible leaders and coaches out there that have different strengths than we do. I'm not real big with the internet marketing. I'm more of a person to person. I think Scotty's the same way, building those relationships. And we'll talk about that as well. But we're here today to talk about the business. We hope you're here. We want to help you get what you want out of SuperDraft Pro. So what is it that you want? Scotty, let's move to the next slide.
Kevin B, you talk
Yes,
about
sir.
the business of SuperDraft Pro. It's the vision of SuperDraft Pro, who we are right now. And I think most people, if they're on, they know who we are. You just talked about it. We've got two apps, and people are playing the two apps, and people understand the two apps. And the two apps, compared to the experience we had before, these apps are amazing. They work. They're fantastic. And like you said, with the options that are available 24/7, 365, I mean, if you're just sitting around doing nothing, pick it up and just go try something. Pick a sport, a game, or something you've never done before, but you literally have a business that never stops. I mean, think about that. The business never stops, but it's getting ready to get a whole lot better, because we're getting ready to dive into a world, guys, that most of us probably don't understand really well. I'd say 99.9% of the people on here don't, myself included, to a certain level. But I will share one little story with you guys. I've got an outside project that I'm involved with, and it has nothing to do with network marketing, but it has everything to do with an asset portfolio, similar to Warren Buffett. It's basically going to be what Warren Buffett did, but in the digital world. And one of the biggest areas that project to have tremendous value growth and tremendous ability for acquisition to grow and create more value and even generate income through the sale is the purchasing and holding, or the purchasing and selling of NFTs. This is something that when somebody says non-fungible token, I promise you, if you walk out there and say that to 100 people, 99 of them will not know what it is. And in even 1%, most of them will get it wrong. So you don't have to know what it is, but here's the biggest thing that I can share with you that to me is the easiest way to kind of understand. Remember when we were younger, some of us a lot younger than others, but remember we used to get baseball cards or football cards. You go buy the pack of cards, and you trade them with your friends, and you get the card. It'd have the picture on the front of your favorite star, and then on the back it would tell like some of their statistics and some of the key things about them. Well, imagine putting that on steroids and digitizing that. So now, instead of actually having the physical card, although you could take a picture of it and you could print it out if you wanted to, but imagine having a digital card that inside that digital card, you have the ability to literally see the card, You can see maybe perhaps depending on the level of the NFT, that there's different assets that go with it. So you might not just have one picture, you might have multiple pictures of the athlete. You might have multiple pictures from them in different games they played in. Some of them, you might actually have them talking. Some of the more advanced ones, you can have videos of some of their highlight plays. Even in the future, the ability to have an NFT where when you get that, you get invited into special games. So, there's no limit to where this can go. We don't want to get too far into it today, but I would just say, imagine a digital trading card that you had that has value, just like those cards. If you have an original Hank Aaron card and you go to a show, guess what? You can sell that for a fortune. And that's the exact same thing that'll happen here. They will have value, and based on who it is and based on what's in it, will create more and more value. I can tell you this, I will share this. Our owner, Steve Wang, I remember he called Chris and I just a couple months ago, and he was down at Art Basel down in Miami. And he goes, man, you're never going to believe what I just did. And now Steve's been very successful. He took 25 years and he built a company called Contour. He recognized that people starting to get on computers with keyboards and the mice, that it's going to cause a lot of issues for people's hands and arms and carpal tunnel and things like that. So he started a company to make the ergonomically correct keyboards and the mice to use that. And he built that over 25 years and sold it for significant money. And so he's done extremely well. He's the owner of SuperDraft Pro. He called us. He goes, I bought this card. He said, in this card, it's got an ape on it. Well, it's the Bored Ape Yacht Club, and they're digital trading cards. He goes, yeah. He goes, I bought it for $500,000. And we're like, $500,000? He goes, yeah, but probably in a year, it'll be worth $2 or $3 million. He goes, they say it's a great investment. And he was so excited that he got this card that had a picture of an ape on it. So I know that sounds crazy, guys, but that gives you an idea of the world we're stepping into. Somebody the other day or a couple months ago in one of the metaverses, they bought the home, the virtual home, not a real home. This is inside virtual world. You go inside the computer or the virtual world, and they bought the home right next to Snoop Dogg for $450,000. Again, not the physical home where he lives, but he has a home in the metaverse, and they went in and bought the home right next to his for $450,000. So I know you guys have seen people going and putting the headsets on and playing games and fighting each other, but just start to expand. I asked you, how big is your vision? Just start to expand your vision, because this is what our company is bringing to us, guys. And this is not a year from now. We're talking within the next 30, 60 days or so, you're going to start to see this being rolled out. So Kevin B, share some of your thoughts, your feelings on this NFT side, brother.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I just, because I know there's critical people out there just like myself, there's a couple of typos in this slide here. Understand that this is we ask Eric to go ahead and get this to us so we can at least share a couple of things with you. This is in the very early stages. YL is putting together an unbelievable presentation. So they haven't really had a chance to go. So it's not Delver. I don't know what Delver means, but it is deliver. And working sounds like something I would say. There's supposed to be a G on the end of that. So because I know there's going to be people that's going to pick that out.
Not in Kentucky, brother.
we do not want that to reflect on the professionalism and the integrity and the class and just the power of this company. Everybody's going to make a mistake. So don't let little things like that get you off track. That's just noise that's trying to keep you from getting what it is that you want. But, when we had that call, or the leadership call, with YL, and we started to see some of the things that are being worked on in the backgrounds, guys, this is so much bigger than what we ever dreamed it would be. But again, just like Amazon, it doesn't happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. We've all heard that before. A lot of people just aren't mentally equipped. And I don't mean this in a bad way. They just don't have the awareness and the understanding to endure the early stages of a company that's got this kind of potential growth. There are going to be challenges, and most people don't like that. They don't want that. They don't like it. And so they focus more on that piece instead of the vision of what would it feel like to be one of the pioneers that actually is here 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, creating generational wealth for our kids and our grandkids and our great grandkids. This is what we are sitting on. This is what we have. 8 of the original 11 Microsoft founders were not even there when this company was finally successful. 3 were. How many of you want to be here when this thing is exploding globally? and ever how long that takes. It could be 2 years. It could be 5 years. I don't know. But just imagine if you are still here and you are still building this business and you're still having fun with this world-class product. Can you only imagine what your team would look like? What would it feel like to have $10,000 a month in residual income coming in every single month, whether you pick back that phone back up again? 15,000, 20,000, 30, 50, 100, 500, a million. Scotty B, you know just as well as I do, there are families who have set up for generational wealth because they got involved in a company on the very early stages and they helped shape the direction and the culture of that company. So my question to all of you that are on this Zoom right now is, are your actions, are your thoughts, are your feelings creating to a culture here of success? Or are you creating a culture of fear, uncertainty, and doubt? Because fear, uncertainty, and doubt will not help you get to where you want to go. Guys, I promise you right now, Steve Wayne, Anthony, Jim, Betty, Eric, YL, all the people who are involved at corporate, Scott Reese, I promise you, those guys want this company to be successful. I promise you, they do not want to see coaches and players get frustrated over certain things. We are doing everything, and I say we, and I mean this as a whole company. I can speak for the leadership team, the compensation committee, and corporate. We are doing everything that we can possibly think of to do within our respective roles to create the success that we all desire for this company. NFTs is part of the future of this company. It's Scotty, I'm one of those guys that I vaguely understand what a non-fungible token. If I heard that, I would know what you were talking about. I know a little bit, but I don't know enough because it's not an area that I have a whole lot of desire to understand. But I promise you, as we get closer to rolling this out, I am going to want to know everything I possibly can about it, how it works, so I can use that to my advantage to build my business and to help my team build their business. So Scotty B, let's move on to the next slide. Go ahead, Scotty.
Hey, brother, as I say, I know this is something near and dear to both of our hearts, both of our hearts. And that's why I opened up that very first slide with how big is your vision? And, Kevin B, you said something, and I think I want to set this up, and then I'm going to hand it over to you to start going through this. I still do a little bit of speaking every now and then, and I was recently invited by a company to go speak to about 100 of the top people in the company. And so I do some empowerment and education speaking still. And it was interesting because when I was there, it was a time when I wasn't speaking, but this company is really starting to see some growth. And one of the people who is a consultant in the industry that's helping them with some certain elements as they look to expand on their international markets, he asked a question. He goes, I'd just like to ask a question of everybody here. He said, how many of you here went through a funnel on the internet to be introduced to this business? And not a single hand went up. And he said, how many of you here answered an ad somewhere, or answered an ad, responded to an ad, and somebody called you to talk to you or emailed you or got in touch with you? Not a hand went up. And he said, so how many of you here were invited by somebody either a family, a friend, or somebody you work with? And every single hand went up. Now, this wasn't the cross-representation of the company in general. It was the leaders, the leadership. So the interesting thing that said to me is, even though everybody kind of wants to have this mindset of, hey, I'll just go out there and post stuff online and people will call me. This was literally just about 5 weeks ago, Kevin B. I was there. So as we dive into mindset, guys, and Kevin, you touched on it a little bit earlier, sports gives us the ability to connect with people, reconnect with people, to really start getting back to a good old handshake, a good hug, a pat on the back, having time with people, which in the last couple of years, we've been pushed apart, kept apart, separated, unlike any time in modern history. If there's ever any one product that you could ever be involved with where it gives you the ability to sit down and have a conversation, stop by, drop in and talk to somebody, I'm submitting to you that as Kevin B starts into the mindset here, keep in the back of your mind that I believe we have the absolute best product to be able to get in our car, drive over and see somebody and just drop in and say, how you doing? What's going on? Hey, I got something I'm really excited about. I'd love to share with you. And it's not as easy to do it with a $150 bottle of vitamins or skincare that you may not be totally as in tune with. But man, for people loving sports, just as you set your tone for mindset, as Kevin B starts into this, just realize we have the opportunity to do something that I believe people are craving, but people haven't had in quite some time. So Kevin B, back to you, brother. Oh, here we go. Kevin B, if you're talking, I don't hear you though.
Sorry about that, Mr. Scotty B. I was just going to say, for those of you that don't know who Bob Proctor is, we're not going to get into it today, but he is the world's foremost mindset and personal growth leader. He just passed away back in February. I was very fortunate to be able to build a relationship with Bob. He agreed to film a video piece for me that we're using in a music video for a song I wrote called "The Man from Toronto." Is my tribute to Bob for the massive shift I've seen him on results. But I want you guys to watch this little short clip right here, and I want you to listen to what Bob says.
And action.
Kevin, if you can tell me what you want, I can show you how to get it. Now that may sound like an exaggeration, but I'm going to tell you, everything you get in this world, you get the same way. You get by law. We talk about the law of attraction. You can only attract to you what's in harmony with you. You've got to see yourself with what you want. And if you do exactly what I tell you, until you find out I'm lying or I don't know what I'm talking about, and I do know what I'm talking about. I've been doing it a long time. So remember, tell me what you want. I'm going to show you how to get it. Is that a deal?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Is that a deal? I love it. Bob asked me, is that a deal? Like, oh yeah, Bob, that's a deal. So listen, the reason that I shared this, because again, Scotty, I'm going to give you back the screen share if you'll pull those slides back up again. We're talking about, what do we want? You joined SuperDraft for a reason. What reason was that? You guys are here on a Saturday morning training, and because I already know what that answer is. You're here because you want this to be a successful business and a successful income for yourself and for your family. First and foremost, if you do not want this for yourself, you cannot want it for anybody else. Okay, I want you to hear me, because we've got coaches that seem to give everything to everybody else, but they're not giving to themselves. And I'm not saying go out and be selfish, but we are, one of the number one, instructions that we're given is to love others as we love ourselves. Love others as we love ourselves. We cannot give what we do not have. If you do not have belief in this company, you cannot go out and try to build it because you need the money. Because your belief in this company, if you have any doubts, any frustrations, your energy, the vibration, the frequency that you're in is going to reject the very people that you want to attract into your business. Now, listen, this might, like Bob says, this might sound like an exaggeration or fairy tale, but what is it that you want? You have to know what you want out of SuperDraft. If you do not know what you want and you're not very clear about what you want out of SuperDraft, it's no difference in getting in your car and not knowing where you want to go. Where are you going to go? It's like trying to get to New York City, but not knowing where you're at. You don't know which direction to go. Do I go left, right, up, down, north, south? Which one? You don't know because you have no idea where you are. So what is it that you want of this? Bob says, if you can tell me what you want out of this, I can show you how to get it. And if you can tell Scotty or me or Wendy or Joe or anybody else that's in this company, if you can tell them what they want, with our help and with their awareness and understanding, we can show you how to get what you want. You're not going to get what you want by living in a negative frequency, a frequency of fear, frustration, discouragement, doubt. That is a frequency no different than a radio station. If you're listening to Poor Pitiful Me 101.4, you cannot even hear what's on Dream Big 106.9 or Prosperity 107. You're not even on the same frequency. And if this sounds like mumbo jumbo, guys, then my suggestion is to get understanding. Understand how our mind works, how this mindset works. So what is it that you want? You're obviously here because you want to make money with SuperDraft. Have you made a committed decision? Have you made a committed decision? Are you still in or out? Wishy-washy, tossed to and fro like the waves on the ocean? Whichever way the wind blows, that's where your attitude's going. Have you made a committed decision? Guys, I have made a committed decision to SuperDraft. I am committed to my decision to build this with everything I can, with the understanding that I have. And if I'm not successful, I'm going to keep reevaluating my beliefs about this until I get it in alignment with what I want. I see myself as the top coach, or as a top coach. I don't have to be the top coach. I just want to be a top coach. I want to be a top producer. I see myself as a top producer. I act as if a person who is a top producer would act. So if you want to be a top producer, you have to make the committed decision. And you may not want to be a top producer. You may not want that responsibility. You may just want to get to a point where you make a certain amount of money. Okay, what is it that you want? Kevin, I want to make $500 a month. How can I do that? All right, let's sit down and let's look exactly what we need to do to help you make $500 a month. Have any of you sat down to do that yet? Is it 1,000? Is it 2,000? Is it 5,000? I don't know. I don't know what that is for you. But whatever it is, you can get it. And remember, SuperDraft is not who is paying you. SuperDraft is simply the channel that those resources, that pay is coming through. It's coming from the infinite warehouse, the infinite source, God, whatever you want to call it. And if you don't believe that, that's fine. But you'll never have the true success that you really desire until you connect to that fact. I might rub some people the wrong way, and I'm sorry if I do. I'm here to help you break through and get what it is that you want. So make a committed decision. And once you make that committed decision, you've got to get emotionally involved in that commitment, because that's what a committed decision is in. I am committed. Committed. I'm all in. Now listen, it doesn't mean that this has to be the only thing that you do. But in regards to SuperDraft, are you all in? Are you willing to do whatever it takes? Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to borrow Scotty Mercker's belief? If you don't have strong enough belief for yourself, are you willing to do it? Because that works. Bob Proctor proved it. He didn't believe that he could ever amount to anything from how he was brought up. Poor, no education, bad attitude, couldn't keep a job, broke all the time, creditors breathing down his neck. He didn't believe that he could ever be great. But his mentor did. And Bob said, I didn't believe it was possible, but I believe that Ray believed I could do it. So if you don't think you can, I know you can. If you don't think you can, Scotty knows that you can. You know why? Because we have seen people that come from the most dire circumstances that have gone on to create massive, massive wealth and massive success. And it's not because God decided, oh, I'm going to bless you, but none of these other people over here. That is not how it works. You all have everything you need already. You have it already. You just have to channel into that, tap into that, and you have to focus on what you want. So when you wake up, if you're pissed off because somebody in your lineup was out and you didn't know it in time, and you make a post, all this thing, I can't believe, why didn't they blah, blah. Is that going to help you attract anybody? Is that going to have anybody wanting to come get in business with you? What are you doing to attract world-class talent to your team? What are you doing? If you don't know what to do, stay plugged in and listen and learn and grow, experiment, reevaluate, look at it from different perspectives. There's always different perspectives. Has anybody ever stopped and looked at this from the perspective of Steve Wayne? Has anybody ever stopped and looked at this from the perspective of Anthony Giambetti, or from Scott Reese, or from Michael Zappian? Has anybody ever stopped and looked at it from someone else's perspective, from the perspective of your new player, of your new coach, of your enroller? We have to get emotionally involved into our decision, and we have to understand that there are many perspectives. There are many different attitudes. Which one are you going to choose? And if the one you're choosing, is it going to help you get to where you want to go? Because if it's not going to help you get to where you want to go, you better reevaluate and ask yourself, do I really want this or not? Scotty, I'm going to throw it to you.
Hey, brother. Well, first off, man, thank you so much for that, because mindset is everything. Mindset will determine exactly where we go. And I know you've worked with one of the absolute best of the best of the best of the best, and not only work with him, I mean, intimately and closely. And now you're actually out there still perpetuating, the amazing vision and wisdom that he shared with so many people. You and Natalie are both doing that. And it's so beautiful to see that. So guys, when you listen to Kevin speak here, not only is he an amazing leader in this industry, but he has done something that, not even a fraction of percent of the people have done, into his commitment to educating and empowering himself and equipping himself with exactly what this topic is all about. And it is everything. So, you're getting it for free. And I know a lot of you guys know Kevin, you're friends with Kevin. Many of you that are on here, you're friends, you get that. But don't underestimate, number one, his commitment. And I know you see that and feel that because he shows up more than anybody I know. But number two, understand the commitment that he has made to make this a part of his life so that he can share it with us here. And a lot of people pay him a lot of money. And there's going to be a lot of people in the future that pay him a lot more money to do this privately with them. And he does this here and we get it for free. So very, very powerful, guys. Very powerful. Kevin, let's dive into building the team, brother. Creating excitement, approaching potential customers. I'll go back to what I shared based on what you said at the very beginning. There's nothing wrong with internet marketing and things like that. Nothing wrong with that at all, guys. But I promise you this, you show me any one person who is having success using internet marketing and funnels and all those type of online systems where they're getting duplication from people doing the same thing. And for every one you get, you tell me how much they're making. And I promise you, I'll get you 10, 20, 50, 100 people making the same amount of money that are doing it the traditional way. So I know it sounds enticing. I know it sounds exciting. Hey, just send out some emails. Hey, just text some people. There is nothing in the world that ever has, nor probably never will in our future. We can't predict the future, but as of today, it still hasn't even remotely come close to being active and connected versus passive and disconnected. You either control the process by being active and connected and engaged in the process, or you do the other. And the only thing the other does is gives a bad name to the company, to the industry, because you can easily send 100 or 1,000 text or emails out, but without any follow-up, people get that and like, what kind of junk is this? What's this person talking about? Oh, what's this? It's not professional. It gets horrible results. It's not duplicatable. There's absolutely one thing that works the best. Now, I will say this, guys, creating excitement. I've got a good friend that works very, very intimately with all the top social media networks in the world. And I'm talking about whether it's TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of them. And he works directly with the developmental teams and he helps with their algorithms. And so he's a very dear friend of mine, and we've talked, and he shared the insights that they receive based on the direct sales industry. And there's absolutely no doubt that 99+% of the people do the wrong thing. They go out there and they start promoting their company, they start promoting their product. And all that does is that creates less likes, less follows, less comments. It's the worst thing you can do. Trying to sell or recruit through the internet is the worst thing to do. The thing that gets the best results, and it's what the whole movie The Secret's about. It's not a secret, it's attraction marketing. The thing that attracts more than anything, that increases traffic to your social media, increases likes, increases comments, increases more people reaching out through the internal messaging systems of these different platforms, is when you do things that create curiosity. So for example, let's say in the realm of sports, you put up your things, say, baseball, MLB opening or Masters this weekend. Which one are you watching? So you put up a picture, just get two pictures side by side and do a question. Doesn't say anything about SuperDraft Pro, doesn't say anything about making money in sports, doesn't say anything about anything related to this. You just ask a question. And if you normally post your traditional posting, when you're going to post in the realm of your context of the business, not the name of your business, not recruiting, not selling, but just something related to that. They said, make sure that it's no more than about one out of every 8 to 10 posts, unless it's something you post about regular. Like if you already post about sports anyways, then you can post a little more often, but don't jump in and start hammering something on sports if you've never been posting about sports. So you might be brand new to us. Don't start doing that. You want to start building it up. But even at the height of it, they said, make sure it's never more than 20% of what you post. So if you're doing things about family, about vacations, maybe you got a hobby, maybe you love animals, maybe you're into your church or spirituality, whatever you normally post, make sure that's at least 80%. And whatever your business is, your direct sales business, make sure it's never more than 20%, but it's just more either information and just informing people, educating people. But the biggest thing they say is sprinkle in things where you ask questions and attract. And two things happen. One, when people see that over time, eventually the ones that are interested will start to reach out to you. But if you start to notice who either comments or who hits some of the little icons like, love, laugh, whatever, you can, those are people then that you know they're following you. They're aware of what you're doing. They're at least doing something as a physical reaction to the post you made. And then that's somebody you know you can reach out to. So when you're looking at your list of who do you want to personally call in direct prospecting, take it from the people that are consistently either liking or loving or commenting on your post. So personally reaching out, and if you are going to do social media, this comes from one of the absolute top experts in the entire world. He shared the exact data of what's going on. And most people in network marketing, 99.9%, are doing it the absolute wrong way. So Kevy B, I'm with you, brother. There's nothing that's like a reach out. I remember the first time you came to Louisville, brother, when you got out of that car and you came walking up at Starbucks and we had a big old hug, we never met before in person and we got to have that hug and sit down. And, we could have never, even though I love seeing you on the Zoom, there is nothing in the world we could have ever done digitally that replaces that physicality of when we had that first hug, brother.
Well, that's exactly right, Scotty. That's exactly right. And again, just creating excitement around what we're doing is so contagious. People love to be around winners. People love to be around what's happening. People love to be around excitement. People are curious. I mean, I saw a deal the other day where somebody put up a line starts here, like movie, the cords that you put up on the little stands, and it creates a little lane, and they had put this up in this mall, and it put line starts here, and they had somebody walk, and just go stand in that line. They didn't even know what it was for, but I mean, this first person was planted. All right. He just goes and gets in this line. And when he went and got in that line, it wasn't, but maybe 2 or 3 minutes later, then somebody else came and got in line. And then somebody else came and got in line. They didn't even know what they were getting in the line for. But they knew that they were lining up for something and they wanted to know what it was. And they were willing to take the time out of their day to go stand. And they stood there for 30, 45 minutes before they finally told them what this experiment was all about. So let me ask you a question. Are you one of those kind of people? Are you just a herd mentality? Are you just going, following the clan, following what everybody's doing? And, but listen, you can use this to your advantage, but make sure that you've got something at the end of that 30 minutes for them instead of, oh, hey, we're just trying to experiment, see who would line up. Oh, hey, we're just trying to see who would get signed up in SuperDraft. Have a good day. No, create some excitement around this and approaching potential customers. Again, there's so many different ways, but listen, once you get connected to what you want, I got my East Texas, I say want, what you want. It's not W-O-N-T. But if you can get connected to what you want and you get emotionally, I want you to hear this. There's power here, guys. If you get emotionally involved in it, imagine what your life will look like 1 year from now if you're earning $10,000 a month or more with SuperDraft. What would your life look like? What would you be doing differently? Put yourself in that place. See yourself. Use your imagination for what God gave it to us for. We have this imagination, and it's been said it's the most miraculous, most powerful force the world has ever known, because everything that we do comes from the imagination. We think about something, we imagine it, we start to build it in our mind. We create it in our mind. That's where everything starts. So if you will start there and see yourself as already being, a Hall of Fame coach or whatever the new, and you'll see it very soon with this new comp plan. And this is, guys, I'm going to tell you, I'm excited about getting this new comp plan out. This is going to massively kickstart and re-engage and relaunch this company. It's going to be exciting. All right. But just imagine where you will be and what your life would be like if that's you. See yourself that way. And then ask yourself this question: what can I do today to help make this a reality? What can I do today? And demand it. Give me an idea. Talk to yourself. I mean, you might not want to do it walking down the street. People might think you're crazy, especially if you don't have any earbuds in and they know you're not talking to somebody. What can I do to attract my next coach? And I promise you right now, like the sun's going to come up tomorrow, if you guys will connect, and girls, connect to what you want, see yourself as being that coach already and demanding ideas. What can I do right now? What can I do today to recruit a new coach? And listen, not just any coach, all right? Do you want just anybody, or do you want a world-class talent? Do you want an up-and-comer? Do you want a guy like a Tom Brady that comes in the 6th round and he goes on to set all kinds of records, be the greatest of all time? Nobody projected that from him when he first got into the NFL. All right. You might be one of those. You might be one of those that nobody thinks is ever going to be a top coach. Doesn't matter. Listen, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It doesn't matter what Scotty thinks about you. It doesn't matter what I think about you. It doesn't matter what Steve Wang thinks about you or Anthony Jimbetti think about you. It doesn't even matter what your mother, your dad, your brother, your sister, your spouse, it doesn't matter what they think. What does matter is what you think about yourself. See yourself as that person and demand ideas. Demand, what can I do? And if you will just listen, you will get more ideas than you can shake a stick at. That's an East Texas thing. That's a lot of ideas, okay? But this is a big trap. People will take it that far, and then they will not take action on those ideas. And what happens is we have gotten ourselves in this place that we have asked for these ideas. What can I do? I don't know what to do. And you get an idea, and guess what? You never follow through with it. Your whole life, you get idea after idea after idea after idea, and you never follow through until you get to the point where you believe, what's the use? It's not going to do any good anyway. But you never gave it a chance. So when you ask for that idea and you get an idea and you feel it, you can feel the energy in your chest area. You can feel that energy. You get this excitement. You know you've got a great idea. Then you go and you start doing everything you can to make that idea work. If somebody pops in your mind, Joe Goodman, pops into your mind, call Joe Goodman, call him. You may not, and don't come say, hey, Joe, I got this business opportunity. Do not do that. Again, approaching potential customers, that's another thing. And we may have to do another training because we're gonna run out of time, Scotty B. But please don't just go to somebody and send them a generic message. Say, hey, Joe, man, I've been thinking about you. You crossed my mind today just out of the blue. I want to call and see how you're doing. What you got going on? He's going to ask you what you got. Oh, well, I've got this in the family. We're going and we got involved in SuperDraft. You like sports, don't you? This might be something you might be interested in. Don't sound like that's the only reason you called him for, but like, you know what, you like the New York Yankees. This might be something. Could you stand to make some extra money? Would you be interested in taking a look at something? Be genuine. Don't just go out and try to get somebody. Build that relationship with them. So again, and it happens to me, I'm sure it happens to you too, Scotty. You get a generic text message from somebody. Hey, I thought about you today. You'd be perfect for this new business. Can I send you a link? Or they don't even ask you, can they send it? They just send it. Hey, watch this video. You'd be great at this. Don't do that. Scotty, your thoughts on that before we move on?
It's very simple. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just here's the thing. Ask yourself, how would you feel if somebody sent that to you? And then that gives you your answer. If you're that one in probably 10 million that feels good about that, then go do that and see what your results are. Your results will tell if it works or not. But I know that Kevy, like you said, that's happened to me so many times. And what I usually do is I try to call them and just say, hey, are you open for a little conversation about that? Because I want to see you succeed. If you're open based on the experience I've seen, I'd like to share with you. And the nice thing about that is a lot of times they say, well, what are you doing? So I turn around, not with intent to try to take them from what they're doing, but if they're open to what I'm doing, because I believe in intelligent diversification, they got a lot of people that may not like vitamins or skincare, but I know that 90% of them are sports fans. So it doesn't have to interfere with what they're doing. So I try to use it as a teaching moment and see if they're open to a little coaching. And then it also presents an opportunity just to catch up as well. Like you're saying earlier, it's a sincere catch up. And I don't try to push what I'm doing. I don't even share it if they don't ask, but it does present an opportunity. So to me, it's a unique opportunity, but I would never do that because I hate when people do it to me.
Let's move to the next slide, Scotty.
Well, here it is. And I saw Wendy put it in the chat, guys. People are ready for this, but you know what they don't want? They don't want traditional in-home meetings. Those are a thing of the past. Make no mistake about it. But people want to get out. People want to get out right now and do this. The CEO of Expedia, just about 3-4 weeks ago, he was being interviewed. He said, I know this sounds crazy. He said, because if you watch the regular media, you wouldn't believe this. He said, but already the numbers we're seeing this summer is going to be the biggest summer in the history of our company. He said, now people are adjusting. Not as many people are going international for vacation like they used to, but boy, are they going places. He said, we've got resorts like at the Grand Canyon. He said, there's cruise ships, places that are already being booked 2 and 3 years in advance. He said, we've never seen so much like this. He said, there's more new cruise ships, more new resorts, things that are opening all over the world because you got an expanding, growing population and everybody wants to go have fun. Well, guess what? One of the number one things people do when they want to go somewhere, it's for something sports related. Whether it's the World Cup, whether it's the Masters, people love to go places. If people are fans of the Atlanta Braves or the Cincinnati Reds, and they live within about 4 or 5 hours of Atlanta, guess what they were doing on opening night? They were traveling into Atlanta to do what? To go get together with tens of thousands of other people all around sports. So when you coop up people who by nature have an innate desire to be with other people for a couple of years, it's like a tiger that's been caged up and teased by holding meat outside of the cage. You open that cage door and that tiger is lunging out of it to that meat. And I mean, you guys saw what happened this past year, the year before when nobody could be in the stands for sports. And then it opened up this year. You could just feel the energy. People are like, man, we hate it missing this. We want to be back. So if there's ever a time, whether it's getting together and meet with people at a sports bar to watch a game, and you know what, during halftime or during a timeout, just, hey guys, let's talk about this, meet early. Hey, download this app. Let me show you how we're going to play a game and have some fun. You don't have to say a word about the business. That's the thing with this business. You can do it in a way that other companies never can. We've got the ability to literally do things, but it's all revolving around what Kevin was saying earlier. What I was sharing is just get with people. Just get with people. Just get with people. It's not about how fast you can build it, but if you just get with people and share and have fun, family, friends, and fun playing games, it's all going to happen for you. So Kevin B, I know you're like me. I mean, we love being around people, but you're seeing it. You're out there more and more. You were just in the weekend in Ohio, and I guarantee there were a whole lot of people that love being out and being around and hearing you entertain and being with the people they were with, right?
Absolutely. And tailgates, sports bars, social family gatherings, these are all great ways. Create some events, have some fun. People love fun. They will come. If you have a party at your house and you invite some people to come over and watch the final round of the Masters and maybe say, hey, I got a $25 Amazon gift card up for grabs or whatever, create some fun and excitement, and you'll get some people around you to have fun with, and you'll have more people to share your opportunity with. And one thing I do want to touch on real quick, Scotty, we did have a comment come in under the section, and I did want to address this, and I wanted to address this earlier. Listen, when we're talking about internet marketing, this is not in my wheelhouse, and it's not in Scotty's wheelhouse. We operate differently. We operate on relationships. It doesn't mean that there can't be someone that is successful using internet marketing, and I will use it as part of what I do. My main focus, of course, is personal relationships, but there are successful internet marketers out there, but honestly, guys, and you just have to ask yourself, if you're an internet marketer, are you making $10,000 a month or more? And how many people that you have brought in are making $10,000 a month or more? The difference in internet marketing, and there's a lot of differences, but one of the big things for me personally, and this is just for me personally, because I'm a very social, outgoing, fun-loving person. Yes, I want to create income, but as importantly as for myself, I want to help those with me create income. And with internet marketing, you do have to invest in systems, you do have to invest in leads, and you have to have all that stuff in place. Most people aren't willing to do that, aren't willing to make that investment. So what we are focusing on, and again, there are other leaders that may focus on that, and we want you to identify with the leader that you most feel connected to follow. Scotty and I are not saying that you can't do it. We're not saying that it doesn't work, but we're just saying that most people that do it don't understand what the masters do. They don't understand what the masters of that technique do. And they are reaching literally millions of people, and they're spending a lot of money to continue to have that flow of people coming in. But of all those people that are coming in, they don't get to build the relationships with them. I like building the relationships. I like to know that my coach, John Denver, just got a $250 fast start bonus or a $3,000 team bonus. I like to know that. So again, we're not knocking it. And if we came across as being negative, I promise you it was not intended that way. So with that, Scotty B, let's move on to our next slide and wrap this up.
Hey, Kevin B, I'm going to say one more thing on that because my friend is one of only a handful of people that works with every one of these different social media platforms. And the only people making money with that are the people that have the ability to invest the money and the time and effort into doing that. There's virtually zero duplication of people duplicating that and having success. And what I shared with people was an exact way based on the true results in every one of these social media platforms to do internet marketing. But it's not spending money buying systems, doing those things. So, this is not being negative. This is being real. This is going to save a lot of people a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of angst, a lot of effort. You might be the one that does it. The only people making money doing internet marketing are the people selling the tools and the information on how to do it, brother. Not being negative, it's being real. And this is straight from one of only 5 people that interfaces with every one of these top teams at every one of these top social media platforms. So, take it for how you take it. Hopefully you don't take it negative. It's just meant to educate, but it's the truth. Truth.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. And again, Scotty, what we said from the very first is if you can tell us what you want, we can show you how to get it. We're not going to show you the only way, but we are going to show you a time-tested and proven method of duplication and of building a business and getting outside of your comfort zone, looking at it from different perspectives. We want to see you have success. We want to see you have success more than anything.
Definitely. Definitely so. So some final notes and wrap up, Kevin B. I'm going to shift the slide thing real quick here. Let's see how I can do this. I think I have to do that first and then restart it.
I want to go there.
That is Brazil, brother. That is Brazil. That's morning sunrise in Brazil. I'm going to go back over here. And as we wrap this up, guys, so here we go. As we wrap this up, guys, here we go. SuperDraft Pro, where sports is your business. This was the topic of the day. Sports is your business. And again, you could do anything you want. I mean, you could do all the social media marketing you want. If you're the 1 in a million or 1 in 10 million that makes over 10,000 a month doing it. And if you ever get duplication, please call me right away and let me know, because I'll get my friend and he'll take it into all the top social media networks, and they'll say, hey, somebody's broken the code and figured out how to do it and duplicate it. So if you do find that, let us know. But there's nothing that beats family, friends, and fun, guys. We all deserve it, don't we? Every one of us does. We said this a while back. And I know Kevin believes it. I believe it. We are going to fill, obviously, with SuperDraft Pro being based in Las Vegas. We thought, based on initially starting and some previous experience, we thought we could have made this happen by 2022. I do believe with us finishing up beta that we're in right now, and you call it whatever you want, but this is beta. If you know, by definition of beta in technology companies, we're in beta. We'll be in pre-launch very soon. And this company officially, based on the true metrics of this industry, will launch. Most likely our official launch will truly be to coincide with 2022 football season. So 1 year from then, there is no doubt that we can fill this stadium with 75,000 people to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of the company. So, as we're wrapping this up, and Kevin and I both have a couple things just to wrap up with you guys, you just have to make a decision, because your destiny and your future is determined by the decisions you make today. Where you are today is 100% a reflection of every decision you made up to now, and we can't change that. But what we can do is make decisions today to determine where we're going to be in the future, and we get to decide that. So the question that we started off with to begin is how big is your vision? How big is your vision, guys? Everybody has different levels of vision. How big is your vision? Well, we all get to determine that, brother. And Kevin, I know this has been such a pleasure to be here with you, brother. I just have so much admiration, respect for who you are as a man, who you are as a leader, who you are as a friend, a business partner, and to be able to do this together. And for the ones that are here with us, we see the names. You know what? Not everybody is here today, but guess what? Like you said, Kevin B, Microsoft started with 11, of which 8 left. The other 3 is interesting. The real story, all 3 became billionaires. So I see 9 people right now at 10, all of us together. And who knows where we'll be in a few years, but I think we got a pretty good idea, don't we, brother?
We absolutely do. We absolutely do. And listen, whatever it is that you believe, you're going to prove yourself right. So I want you to hear that too. Whatever it is that you believe, you're going to prove yourself right if you really believe it. Okay. Now, it may not be the truth, but it might be the truth to you, and you're going to create that. And you're going to create that. You're going to prove it. People that, anyway, we won't go there. But what I will tell you is this: over the last 4 years of my life, I have seen a massive Massive, massive shift. Massive shift. If things aren't working, try to do them the same way. They call that the definition of insanity, doing things over and over and expecting a different result, the same thing over and over. Well, it starts before that. It's not doing the thing, because the doing starts with the think. It starts with the thought. The thought creates the action, okay? The thought creates a feeling, feeling creates an action, action gets a reaction, reaction produces a result. It's straight out of Bob Proctor's Thinking and Results program, the world's best program on mindset and shifting. What you think is going to determine how you feel. If you're pissed off, you're not going to feel good. You're in a negative vibration. You're going to attract negative energy. Your action or inaction, because inaction is an action, guys. Not doing anything is doing something. All right, it's doing nothing, and it's going to provide a result. Okay, and that result's going to create your results that you see in your life. So all I'm saying is this: doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. It starts with this: thinking the same way that you were thinking last year and expecting your business to be different is insanity. Because what you are going to create 6 months from now starts with what you decide right now today. It starts with what you think right now today. If you think this is all a bunch of bull crap, let's look back in 6 months and see where you are, because I promise you, you'll be in the exact same place as you are right now. It may not be SuperDraft. All right. This is universal. This is law, universal law. You apply it to whatever it is. SuperDraft may not be your cup of tea. Go get in a cup of tea business, whatever that is. Whatever it is that you want to do, get emotionally involved in it, make a committed decision, shift your mindset around how you see it, how you feel it, and what you want, know what you want. See yourself as having it, and watch how things will shift. It is truly amazing. I said this, and we're going to end it on this. Doesn't matter how good a company is. Doesn't matter how fun the product is. Doesn't matter how big the payouts are. Doesn't matter how great the training is. None of that matters. If a person doesn't have the right mindset, they're never going to truly get the success that their heart longs for. You're all here because you want to do very well. You love it, or you wouldn't be here. And if you could make enough money through SuperDraft that you don't have to do something else that you're doing right now, or if this will allow you, if this income will allow you to do some things that you're not able to do right now, how would that make you feel? Because it is possible. Not only is it possible, it's guaranteed if you'll follow the law. Think into the results that you want. If your thoughts are negative, you're thinking yourself into negative results. Oh, Kevin, it's that positive. I've tried to think positive and this never works. Well, you just claimed it for yourself. You just admitted that it never works. Never works for you because you have believed that and you've claimed that. So again, you've got to be very careful about what you think. And you've got to be extra careful about what you speak out of your mouth, especially when you're speaking it about yourself. So listen, we love you guys. It's not lip service. We don't get paid extra to do this. We love this. We love helping people succeed. We have to succeed before we can help somebody else succeed. And success is not defined by how much money you have in the bank or how big your team is. It's all a mindset. You will attract the very things that you want and desire if you get your mind and you get yourself in alignment and get on the frequency of what it is that you want to attract. Might be a little deep. That's why we're here. And I don't know if we'll be back together next week, Scotty, but I would propose that we continue these for the next few weeks if possible. And as we have others that want to contribute a different perspective that have success, then we're going to do that. But thank you guys for being here. Scotty B, when I first met you, and this isn't one of those deals where Scotty said something nice about me and now I got to say something nice about Scotty. I love that man right there. If it weren't for Scotty and Chris, we would not be here. So thank you, Scotty. Thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for taking time out of your weekend to be here with us. Natalie and I are getting ready to take off to the Fairmont Chateau on Lake Louise, and we're going to stay at a freaking amazing hotel. We're going to a nice dinner. We're going to get dressed up. We're going to do some lives, and we're going to go skiing all day tomorrow, and I can't wait.
Y'all deserve it, brother. You deserve it. Have a blast. Enjoy. Big hug to Natalie for us and everybody on here. Love you guys. And hey, we're right there on the verge. Beta will be done soon, and this thing will be pre-launch, and it will run to football season. We'll launch this puppy, and we're going to be traveling and seeing sports all around the world together. Lots of love to everybody.